Hey guys, welcome back, I guess, or maybe you guys should be saying that to me. I know it's been 3 weeks. Oof. Suffice to say, quarantine or not, I managed to catch the flu, so that put me down for a while. And in keeping with the subject of last episode, if you don't keep up momentum, writer's block enters into play real quick. Also, I kind of let things get into a mess and couldn't be bothered cleaning up. And anyway, so I'm back. And today we are going to be talking about writing action scenes. In case you guys don't know who I am, for some reason you happen in here out of nowhere, I'm Evan Curry. I'm a professional novelist, been doing this for 7 or 8 years now. And this series is Let's Write a Novel. We're going through different aspects of writing a novel, step by step, and really just trying to get everybody to have ideas as we move forward through whichever books we're working on. In my case right now, my primary book is The Infinity Affliction, which I'm hoping to finish up sometime in the next week or so. We'll just have to see what happens there. Now, so writing action scenes, it's going to be dependent very much on what type of novel you're writing, what kind of action scenes we're talking about. Now, in general, I'm going to give the basic advice that you're going to get from most people. Use dynamic language. I've got a section in The Infinity Affliction that involves fighter combat. You could say that the pilot rolled the fighter over, or you could say that she snapped the fighter into position. I happen to prefer the latter. It feels more dynamic, it feels faster, it feels just better to me when I write. So that's the type of language that I will use as I'm writing that section. But when you're writing that type of a scene, you have to understand a whole bunch of different rules. And these rules are going to change from one type of action scene to another. So it's really going to be important that you do your research. If you're writing a gunfire, you're writing a gun combat scene, well, you better look up information on guns. A lot of information on guns. Don't rely on Hollywoodisms. That's going to get you into trouble. It's going to have people looking at it and wonder, and they're going to recognize those parts. And you're going to want to avoid that. If you're going to put something like that into your book, unless you've got a good reason, there are all kinds of scenarios where you can say the physics of this particular aspect of reality are different in this book. And as long as you stay consistent with that, that's fine. But if you are in any situation that's realistic, where you're relying in any way on hard sci-fi or realism, do your research. Most readers are not going to notice, but the ones who do, they're going to really appreciate it. Okay? You want putting a detail. I will bring something up from Odyssey 1. Okay? In Odyssey 1, I put in a detail from my research into just space travel, the physics of space travel. Now, Odyssey 1 is not hard science fiction by any means. Okay, it's harder than some, softer than a lot of others. However, all the technologies that I used were as close to realistic as possible, and the type of combat that I used in Odyssey 1 was very much in keeping with how I saw the technology integrating with the real universe and creating a combat scene. I inserted a couple of very small details that I think only one reader ever commented on to me. That reader was somebody who used to work on the Apollo program. When you get a note like that, doesn't matter if it's only one reader. It was worth it. It was worth hours of work to catch the attention and the approval from somebody who says, yeah, I used to work on the Apollo program, and that's dead on. Okay. Do your research. You won't regret it. Because, yes, most readers are not going to care, believe it or not. That's going to be a recurring theme as we go through this. The vast majority of readers don't care what your various conceits are in your novel. As long as you stay more or less consistent, 90 to 95% of readers are just going to be fine with it, as long as the story's good. The remaining 5 to 10%, they're not going to be fine with it if you violate whatever rules they understand, and they're going to be very vocal. So they're going to be the ones you hear from. So it does make it worth it to do your research. Understand what kind of scene you want to write. If you're writing space combat, okay. What could do your character? Are your characters able to engage in combat at faster than light velocities? That's going to affect the rules. You know, if they can't, then you're going to be dealing very much with submarine style combat, which you'll see in Odyssey 1, one of my novels. If they can engage at faster than light combat, well then you're going to be looking at more Star Trek type combat. Okay, which is actually highly unusual. Very few sci-fi series out there actually engage in combat at faster than light velocities. Almost all of them slow down in order to engage in combat. Probably as a visual medium, but it is what it is. It's something that you're going to notice going through. So, use dynamic language, research the type of action that you're writing. Okay, even if it's a science fiction action, research the closest modern or even historical analog. You'll see that some stories, like for example David Weber's Honor Harrington series, are based very much in Age of Sail. So all of their action is based around cannons and those types of tactics that were used during the Age of Sail. That's this type of research that I'm talking about. Figure out what type of action you're writing, find out what the closest modern or historical analog is, and research the hell out of it. You will never regret it because, number one, it's going to be really cool. The stuff that people did and do, always awesome to find out about. And number two, it will come through in your story. It will be really valuable to you. Now, I could go on about all kinds of different types of action scenes, and I will at length if you guys want. If you've got a type of action scene you'd like me to expound on in detail, let me know in the comments below. Space combat, firefights, dogfights, even just regular martial arts. I can go into all of them or any of them as you like, but I'm going to have to do them separately because I don't want to line up a whole bunch of I don't want to have like an hour-long episode here. So we're going to cut this out. We're going to say that's going to be my talk on action scenes. I'm going to be swinging back into this. Going to have a new episode up for you as soon as I can. And yeah, I'm sorry for the delay. We're back, hopefully in the swing of things again. All right, cheers.